So I just want to give you guys first a glimpse into my perspective, because you'll never understand my perspective in its entirety. But I want you guys to kind of understand where I'm coming from here. I grew up in foster care, and I lived in many different homes with Cambodian people, a lot of white people, different types of white people. You know, you got the ones who are interracial white people, right? You got the ones who live with Puerto Ricans because they married a Puerto Rican. You got, Portuguese people who are with Irish people. You got, I lived with, Cape Verdeans. I lived with, friggin' Jamaicans. But I lived with all different types of people. Okay. So that's my perspective. So there's a lot of people in this world that I consider to be family who are Asian, Haitian, black, you know what I'm saying? White people. And so that's my perspective. That's how I grew up. And now, fast forward to me working. I've worked jobs in, Walmart. I've worked fast food jobs. I've worked accounting jobs, working with people who went to Harvard and at law firms. I've done accounting for quite a few millionaires at this point. I've also worked at. I was a driver for people who had to get driven to methadone clinics, and those people who I drove to the methadone clinics, I would pick them up from a nice house on the water to sketchy neighborhoods that look like bandos. You know what I'm saying? Like, these people were all different, and it was crazy. Some of these people I drove to the methadone clinics, some were just completely accepting of the fact that they were drug addicts, and they were like, yeah, this is just my life, and I'll probably get back on drugs again, because I like it. It's a good time, but it sucks when you're off. And then there were other people who were in that same exact vehicle I was, driving all these people, and with a completely different perspective. And the other person was like, I hate my life. My kids are gone. Everything sucks. This world's stupid, And so, because of that, I feel like I know I'll never have a complete grasp of anyone's perspective, but I personally feel like I'm intrigued by people naturally. And so I ask them a little more, questions about their life. And I'm like, whoa, how did you do that? Why did you do this? Because I'm really interested in other people's perspectives. And so at that job, we would drop our vehicles off. And so there would be like a main hub, right? Where, all the other drivers would drop off their vehicles. And then we would all talk, right? And it was basically split there. Like, you would have some drivers listening to NPR news, and then the other half of the drivers would listen to conservative talk radio. And so me and my other a couple other people I know who listen to NPR, we would go in their van and change their conservative station to NPR, and then they would be like, God damn liberals, and they would do it back to us. And we would just make fun of each other. You know what I mean? But we could sense that there wasn't like hatred. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't hate each other. We were just, at work screwing around because we didn't want to be at work. You know what I'm saying? And to keep talking about, conservative, MAGA and stuff, I actually have a neighbor who's MAGA. He got MAGA signs everywhere. You know what I'm saying? But I see him, we talk to each other. He gives me advice because his son was born similar to my son. His son's in a wheelchair, but this guy's, really older. So his son's already a grown man, you know what I mean? He's been through a lot of the shit that I'm going through right now. And so he gives me advice, whenever he sees me. And he's an anti-vaxxer. He got his signs out there, protesting against stuff. And he's a nice dude, though. He genuinely cares about my family. And, he asked about my son. Not everyone does. And he asked about my son and how he's doing and how his seizures have been. And he saw the fact that, we had to rush him to the hospital the other day. So he's asking if we need anything. You know what I mean? He's a nice dude. He got MAGA signs everywhere. I'm a Democrat. I'm brown. You see what I'm saying? I also got some family members because my wife is white. And, some of them are MAGA people. I can't hate MAGA people. But what I can say with all this experience I've had is that no matter what job I'm at, no matter what economic or social position I'm with at the time, people are generally the same. If you're an asshole, you walk in a room, you start acting like an asshole, people are going to give it back to you. Right? If you walk into a room and you're nice to people, generally speaking, most people are going to be pretty cool with you. Obviously you got your people who naturally hate you, who naturally don't like you, right? That's with every group though. And so my idea is this. If you're MAGA, I don't care. If you're a MAGA and you're an asshole to me, yeah, we got a problem now. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that simple. Like, and if you're a Democrat, same thing. Like, just because you voted for Obama like I did, doesn't mean we're buddies. Like, you could be an asshole. Like, and we're not going to get along. So that's my view on MAGA. That's my view on the political climate of America. And I just think it's crazy out there right now. If you're watching the news and that is pissing you off to the point where you're, acting like an asshole, you're the asshole to people who are, pretty nice to you. It's like, you got to reflect on yourself a little bit. Why are you reacting to this so intensely? And is some nefarious structure, organization, group of people manipulating your emotions to hate other people?